Today on Ahead of the Curve, just what is the real American home? We try to answer that question with the man behind one of the biggest collaborative photo projects in history, acclaimed journalist Rick Smolan. You're watching Ahead of the Curve. I'm Elizabeth Leamy with 15 minutes to keep you ahead of the technology wave. Our guest is coming up in just a minute, but first, today's tech lines, the headlines from the world of technology. We all love to take pictures of our families, whether you're into old-fashioned scrapbooking or digital online albums, or just put them on a Christmas card. But what if you could share those pictures of your family and your home with the rest of America? That's what Rick Smolan, the director of the America at Home project, has done. Welcome, Rick.
To be here.
So you've done some really iconic photography projects. I want to know how this one, America at Home, your latest, compares and whether you felt some sort of pressure to top your past achievements.
Well, I mean, I think the fun thing about doing these kinds of projects is you get to work with creative people and you get to sort of put them under pressure. The idea of home really came to from my 7-year-old daughter. She went for a sleepover a couple months ago, and she came back and she was so astounded that other people's lives were not exactly the same as hers, that people held hands and prayed before they had dinner, or they ate, Cheerios, for dinner, things like that. We thought, imagine if you went up to the attic of your house and you found an old dusty book, which was a scrapbook of what life was like in America before television, before electricity, before the internet, before cell phones. So we thought it'd be really interesting to invite 100 of the best photographers in America over the course of 1 week to try to document all the things that go into making up our homes. And then in addition, we opened this up to the public. We invited anyone in America with a digital camera, everybody has a camera now, to actually take pictures throughout the week as well. So it's kind of fun. It's both professional photographers and passionate amateurs creating this time capsule for our great-grandchildren of what home life is like in America.
A colleague of yours made a video about the production of the book, and I want to take a look at that for a second.
Great.
I think it's the family that makes the home.
It's a place where there's always love, and where there's love, there's always laughter.
It was important for us to do a survey, to really go out and ask the American public what they feel about their home and how important that home is to them in their lives.
Fixing up the house has actually brought us together.
It really confirmed here as well that, yes, home is the most important place in the world.
That's lovely.
One of the things that we set out to do with the America at Home project was to test that concept. We sent 100 photographers all over the United States to try to capture what the essence of home, the emotions and the rituals and the ceremonies and all the ways that people personalize their houses and turn them into homes. This is a nice picture. Let me just
IKEA commissioned Rick Smolan, the creator of the best-selling A Day in the Life of Photojournalism series and America 24/7, to create this indelible portrait of Americans in their most important places in the world.
Don't mess up the garage, okay?
Okay, but I gotta get a shot with the robot. You understand that, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's famous.
God.
It's where you grow up. It's where you have your most special moments. It's where you develop as a person.
This is my home. I will always feel comfortable and safe here in my house.
Since there is no such thing as a typical American home, the photographers were free to explore all variations on the theme, from the basic to the unique.
This is great.
As we did America at Home, I think we were kind of stunned that that home meant much more than simply a big house in suburbia or an apartment in New York City. We found sheep herders living in little trailers that for 9 months of the year that was their home. We found people living on boats. We found homeless people living under cardboard that they had to recreate that home every night.
The photo project really is to create a conversation and a discussion about the home in America. It's very much to put another angle to the discussion today, where it is about house prices and current values, etc.
This dining room table, this living room sofa. This is where the process of our unfolding lives happens.
So in addition to 100 of the world's best photographers photographing all over America for this week, is that we invited the public to participate. So many other people took assignments, came to our website, and helped us illustrate this sort of time capsule of American life at home.
The America at Home project is also making it possible for people to order a custom cover for their copy of the book. using photographs of their homes and families.
When people start talking about the home, it is very clear in their eyes and in their body language and with the pride they have that home is really the most important place.
In the course of doing American Home, what we were trying to do is to take lots of little puzzle pieces contributed by different photographers about different people's families, and then kind of weave all those puzzle pieces together into something that felt like a complete whole picture of life at home in America.
And that gives you a good idea of the project, and we'll be back with more from Rick Smolan in a moment. We've been talking about the America at Home Photography Project, and it's really intriguing. If you're intrigued, you can check out the website, myamericaAtHome.com. The director of the project, Rick Smolan, has been telling us about it. And Rick, and I want to ask you, how did your photographers get into some of these interesting homes?
Well, we had a team of researchers that spent about 2 months trying to make sure that our photographers were geographically and thematically spread out over the country. So we send photographers out, but we also say to them, if you know people in the community, if you are stopping for gas during the day while you're driving around and you strike up a conversation and you want to improvise, I'd say about half the pictures in our books are from our research and half are complete serendipity. That's what I love about them, is you feel like it's life unfolding in front of you.
Neat. All right, so I saw a couple that I'm really curious about. There was a photograph with a bunch of teddy bears, that looked like to me. What is the story behind that?
One of the chapters in the book is about obsession. It's people who, in their homes, it represents something they can't stop thinking about. This woman collects literally hundreds and hundreds of teddy bears. They're taking over her entire house. It's amazing the things that some people want to decorate everything in their house purple. One woman we met, her son was murdered, and she's actually taken every room in the house and sort of created artwork reflecting his personality. This book is a really honest look at life in America, at home life. It's not a Hallmark card. It's good and bad. It's all the nuances, all the texture and diversity of life across the country.
In fact, speaking of good and bad, there was that picture of the homeless person's home that they've created sort of on the fly. Yeah. And how did you find that person, and what's important about that picture?
What I really like about the picture is, again, it reflects the fact that home means so many different things to different people, but that everybody has something they call home. And we actually know who this gentleman is. We know about his past. We know that he has to take basically this home apart every night because of ordinances in New York City where it was shot, and he has to reconstruct his house every night. And for him, that you know, it's like, you know, animals want to go back into their cave. When you think of the memories you have as a child, you know, it's the smells, it's the blankets, it's the toys, it's the way your parents cuddled with you or read to you with a flashlight under the blankets. We were trying to sort of evoke that. We also had wonderful writers like Amy Tan and Matt Groening and David Pogue, Dominique Browning from House and Garden magazine. We asked people to contribute very personal reflections and thoughts about how important home is to you.
And there's another photo I want to highlight, the one with the brown paper sacks. This family's got a bunch of them in front of them. What's that all about?
Well, it was interesting. We actually met a lot of families that had adopted many, many children. And this is actually a family that have adopted all these kids. Oh. And so can you imagine morning rush? Mom and dad are sitting there desperately making all the lunch bags for all the kids to take to school every day. So this is the morning routine. Actually, the older kids help out with the younger kids. That was a theme we saw across America. Amazing generosity, amazing ability to welcome other people into their homes. You know, just I think home life in America is something that I'm sure everywhere in the world it's really special. But you felt an incredible sort of warmth of people opening up their homes, both to other people and to our photographers. You feel like you were an invited, you know, guest in these photographs.
So you've talked a bit about the warmth, but home is also a place of conflict and angst and problems.
Yep.
Did you come across some of that, or were people on their best behavior?
No, it's amazing actually how people, I think when a photographer spends time, eventually you sort of revert back to whoever or whatever the life is really like in your home. There's a wonderful photograph that I love of a grandmother scolding her grandchild, and he's sitting on the timeout bench. And just the body language, he's turning, I won't look at you, and it says timeout bench. And this is the grandmother who, you know, basically while her daughter is at work every day, the grandmother comes over and helps take care of the kids. So it's a very honest look, but I think at the end when you close the cover of America